Most people think they're getting enough fiber by just eating a salad, but a salad only has a couple grams of fiber, which is literally not enough. You need at least 25 grams of fiber minimum per day to hit your fiber goals and feel your best. So I'm gonna show you what I do on a realistic weeknight in my kitchen, which is just prepping a few different high fiber meals that we can eat off of throughout the week to meet our fiber goals, and it costs you under 20 bucks. Welcome back to Organic Essentials, where we make real food recipes. Let's do it. Honestly, our AC has been out for 3 weeks, so I wanna get something in the oven and out as soon as possible. So we'll start with the cornbread. For the butter, we don't need but 1/4 of a cup. Oh my God, I love, this is my favorite, one of my favorite butters. I have 2 favorite butters. This is my favorite one they get the most often. It's Amish butter. And honestly, it makes me just want to bite it. It's so flavorful. This is salted Amish butter. The only ingredients, very clean. Let's see. Yeah, pasteurized cream and salt. That's literally it. It tastes so good. The butter fat content is so high. I don't know what the Amish are doing over there, but this is the best butter. So I'm just gonna nuke this for a few seconds until the butter is melted. So then we're gonna add our dry ingredients to this bowl. You don't need but a cup of flour, a cup of cornmeal. I like this cornmeal because it doesn't have other crap in it. It's just organic, whole grain corn. Bob's Red Mill. And this unbleached, all-purpose organic flour. Really the only ingredient. Organic, hard, red wheat. That's it. That's it. Sometimes I use einkorn flour. You can use organic einkorn flour, whatever you have. But either one. So I'm gonna add a cup of that in here. Making cornbread, because you gotta have cornbread with your beans. Honestly, it helps bulk it up a bit. If you're doing purple hull peas, black-eyed peas, pinto beans, whatever bean, you can swap this recipe out with whatever beans you have, because all of the beans have fiber. So beans, peas, whatever, you gotta have your cornbread to go with it. Just, I don't know. Sticks to your ribs, you know, you gotta add a little something to it. I'm doing 2 of these. This is a 1/2 cup measure. Told you this is realistic. I don't have a cup. My cup measure is in the microwave. So, and this doesn't have to be like exact. Just, you know, if it's a little bit more, a little bit less, it's fine. So, you know what? There we go. Next thing, we got our baking powder and our baking soda. I like this one because there's no aluminum added. It's a shame you really have to look for ingredients that don't just add unnecessary heavy metals. Isn't that fun? Shout out to Bob's Red Mill, high key. A lot of this is from there. I order off of Thrive Market. But, let's see, and I just read off the back of here, just as a little reminder, what do we need? We need how much baking powder? 2 teaspoons. You ever confuse baking powder with baking soda? It's really easy to do. So I always like double check because sometimes I do that. All right, so for baking soda, you don't need but a 1/2 teaspoon. Baking soda, if I'm understanding this right, baking soda and baking powder help the cornbread rise a little bit. And I'm actually gonna do this in muffin tins just to make the servings easy. You could do this in a cast iron skillet. Thought about doing that, but I feel like I just want to do the muffins today. You know, this says A half a cup of this cornmeal has 4 grams of fiber. 12 grams of fiber are gonna be in this whole recipe for the cornbread. So 1 gram per muffin, but you know, for cornbread, it's like, you don't expect to get your fiber from cornbread. If it adds an extra gram to what you're already eating, that's not bad. All right, hold on. Let me get my butter out of here. Should be melted, it doesn't take that long. Let's make sure we have 1/4. Yeah, looks good to me. All right, we're also gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Life hack, get your salt in bulk. Boom. All right. So next we'll add our wet ingredients, which let me just get a little mixy mix spatula. Just kind of blend that together a little bit, you know, before we start adding the wet ingredients. So I'm gonna add this melted butter. And then we're gonna add an egg. This egg is from a local farmer. I get my eggs from her. And I like it because I know where it's coming from. And it's very nutritious when you can get your eggs local. And it really doesn't cost a lot. It really doesn't cost a lot. It's like $6 per carton, which is not bad. Like if you go to the store and try to get, yeah, Terry, yeah, okay. If you go to the store and try to get like pasture raised eggs, you know, a dozen of those eggs, it's gonna get expensive. But if you can support your local farmers, honestly, that's the best thing. All right, so I need 1 1/3 cups of milk. This is organic cashew milk. I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't have dairy milk. I'll use coconut milk for my cornbread, or I'll use cashew milk or almond milk. I prefer cashew or coconut because it's thicker. Almond milk is really, really thin. I don't know why I'm turning here. So this goes in here. So I'm just gonna pour this. That's 1 1/3 cups. And then I'm also gonna add some raw honey. I don't cook with sugar, I use honey instead. So, don't need that much. I don't like sweet cornbread. And it's not gonna make it sweet, it's just, you taste when it's not in there, but if it's in there, it doesn't taste sweet, but it just tastes like cornbread, if that makes sense. When you don't have it, it's missing something. But it's not gonna make it sweet. If you want it sweet, add a lot more, more honey to it, but this should be fine. It's about a couple tablespoons or so of honey. You don't want any lumps, so just go ahead and mix it well, okay? And then what we're gonna do is add this to a muffin tin, or you can, if you're using a cast iron, you can add it to a cast iron. Just make sure you grease it first with a little butter. This is a silicone muffin tin, so they're gonna come right out. I don't need to grease it, but I am gonna go ahead and just start pouring. Okay, whatever extra you have, just put it in the cups that don't have as much. I'm gonna try to make it as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect though. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, try to clean up these little sides here a little bit. Okay. So, I'm gonna pop these in the oven, 375 for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna check on them. Should only take 20 minutes. Woo! I swear it's about 85 degrees in this kitchen. So, we wanna get these in and out. Okay. Woo! So, I like to clean as I go, so I'm just gonna put these in the sink now. And when I have downtime, let me just wipe this so it's not crazy messy. But we're gonna move on to our purple hull peas. Guys, if you've had black-eyed peas, they're really similar. They're just a hint sweeter, if that makes sense. They're not sweet, but you'll know what I mean when you taste the difference. But they're really similar to black-eyed peas. If you live in an area where you can get fresh okra and purple hull peas, or any kind of peas, fresh butter beans, fresh peas, you are super, super lucky. In Georgia, there are some handful of farmers markets where you can get them fresh. And thankfully, there's one right around the corner, so that's where I get my okra and purple hull peas. But you can also do this, you know, with dried peas or beans. Just make sure to soak them before you start cooking. And then I prefer fresh okra, but of course you can totally use frozen. But I'm gonna show you a trick actually that I do, because I'm not gonna use all this okra for this recipe. I'm gonna end up freezing the rest. And when you freeze it from being fresh like this, it's so good. It'll cook so tender. Because I make this, you know, I cook what's in season. So purple hull peas are in season still. During the summertime, when they've got them fresh, I make this like maybe 2 or 3 times a month. And then whatever's in season after these go out of style, you know, then I switch to dried beans or, you know, whatever I can get. But I actually love keeping this in rotation on repeat because it's just quick and easy. And again, this is about getting enough fiber. Super easy way to just have a fiber life hack is peas or beans, anything like that. So, and you get a bunch of okra, and we don't have to cut this up every single time. The leftovers, we're gonna freeze and have it, and it's great. Plus, I prefer to get it fresh and freeze it myself because I know I'm not rinsing it in chlorine or anything weird. At the grocery store, a lot of those frozen, prepackaged veggies and fruits, unfortunately, are rinsed in a chlorine bath. And I don't want to be eating that. I know we wash our veggies and stuff, but I'd rather freeze them myself, to be honest. Just cut them and freeze them. It doesn't take that long. I keep the tips on mine too. And these little heads, you can use these to make okra water if you want. You don't have to throw them away. Okra water is really good for your digestive system. If you're pregnant, I heard that in your last trimester, if you're drinking okra water, it helps the baby just slide right out. So that's something else to keep in mind. but it's got a lot of digestive benefits too. Really great for women's health, all kind of stuff, but it just tastes really good. I'll tell you what, this is gonna make a nice freezer bag full of okra. Comment below if you knew that they rinse frozen fruits and veggies in chlorine. When I heard that, I thought, that's so crazy. And they don't tell you. They're not going to tell you on the package. Like, if they did, nobody would buy it. They do that low key. They do that to a lot of meat too. To your chicken in the grocery store. They rinse it in chlorine. That's so nasty. But that's the state we're in, y'all. That's why I try to show on here, you know, with the little bit of time we do have, if you're able to cook something from scratch. And this is why I meal prep. You know, I'm doing this tonight because I'm not going to have time to do this. I don't have time to do this every night, or, you know, I might do this a few times a week. Try to cook big meals so that we have them. We can mix up our leftovers and kind of, you know, do different things with them. You don't have to eat the same exact thing every night, but when you season right and your food tastes good, you don't mind eating leftovers. I'll say that. But you can mix it up, you know, if you get tired of the same thing. All right, so let me show you what I'm about to do with this. All right, and here, this is what we're gonna use today. So I'm just gonna grab a handful for our purple whole peas. Probably about a couple cups worth or so. All right, and in this, let me grab a little freezer bag, put the rest in here. And then these heads, I'm gonna put in a separate bag because I don't necessarily want those to be in my soup or my beans, but I will end up making okra water out of them at some point. So I'm just gonna put them, I might put in a little container, you know, and then just freeze that too. That way they last a long time. Y'all, okra is so good in soup too. Like, I'll make soup. That's another thing I'll prep that'll last throughout the week. If I'm not doing beans or pot of greens, I might do soup. And okra goes really well in it too. I love these little reusable bags. All right, so these go in the freezer. This is going in our purple whole peas. Ooh, that freezer felt good. So I'm gonna cut a whole onion. I've got purple onion. You can use whatever kind of onions you have. I've done it with green onion, white onion, yellow onion. If you use purple onion, it changes the color a little bit. Don't be surprised. That's okay. What is that? Listen, if you get a veggie and there's a little bad part on it, you just cut that off and keep going. You can use the rest of it. The rest of this is fine. I just had to cut that little piece off. Boom. So now, this is how I like to cut my onion. Cut it long ways like that. And then I'll show you, we're gonna flip it. Makes it real easy to just dice it like that. Boom. I got this onion from the farmer's market as well, our little farm stand. Same place that I got the fresh purple whole peas and the okra. It's so convenient to just run up to the farm stand. And you know it's fresh. Nothing's being sprayed in chlorine. Like those little spray nozzles at the grocery store. I learned that too. I thought they were just misting water on the fresh produce, y'all. Turns out it's a solution that contains chlorine. Womp womp. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing with this half. I just like red onion a little better. It's really versatile. With most of the things I cook, I prefer red onion. Whether I'm eating it cooked or fresh in something, I just like red onion. I don't know. The flavor, I think I like more. It's less of an intense onion flavor, I think. But it adds a nice flavor. It's just less sharp, if that makes sense. And then yellow onion is kind of sweet. I don't want to add a sweet flavor necessarily. But it's just super versatile. I just always get red onions. I don't know. Comment below, what do you have a preference in onions you cook with? For me, it's red. If I do something else, I might do, I love green onions. I like green onions. For specific things, I might do white onion. Really, for this, a white onion would really not be bad, you know, in this recipe. It would work really well. You just use what you have, you know? Like, if you have a red onion, you don't need to go out and buy a white onion. You can literally just use a red onion. The only thing about red onion, when you cook with it, might change the color a little bit, but that's okay. I think this purple's my favorite color too, but like, the color, I believe, adds a little bit of polyphenols too, which doesn't hurt. Just makes it so pretty and colorful. Nature has a way of doing that. The more colorful your plate is, prettier it looks. So I'm just gonna saute a little bit of these onions just for a second, and then we're gonna dump everything else in our pot. So we add a little olive oil. You don't need much oil. I mean, they're gonna cook in there. This is really optional, but I think it adds a nice little flavor. Oh, that's the timer for our cornbread. Let's go ahead and add this in here, and then we'll take a look at it. It should be done. And we finally turn this hot oven off. See, y'all, it is hot in here. All right, you know what I like to do is rub a little butter on the top. So let's do that. And we're just, listen, you don't have to get fancy with it. Just rub it on there. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Just rub a little bit on each top. You do the skillet cornbread, you can do the same thing. Just rub a little bit across the top. Just add a little extra flavor. Boom. That's really it. So we are gonna let those cool down and keep working on our beans. Y'all, definitely check out, if you haven't already, my cornbread recipe. I've got a cornbread muffin video. I've got a skillet cornbread video. The cornbread muffin one is actually a jalapeno cornbread muffin. You can add whatever you want to these. You can add jalapenos, you can add cheddar. You can add bacon. Ooh, I need to do that. You can add bacon to it if you want. Or you can keep it simple. But definitely check out that recipe. I go in depth how to make these cornbread muffins, or if you do it in the skillet, I have another video how to do that. So, like I said, we are just gonna lightly saute these onions just for a second, and then we're gonna add in our chicken broth. So, I make chicken bone broth. Cool thing about it, chicken broth, any kind of bone broth you have or stock is virtually free, because you buy the chicken once, get a whole chicken. Typically when I buy chicken, I get the whole chicken. Say you roast your chicken, and then you carve your chicken. You take, the meat off the bones, you use it for whatever you're using it for. Don't throw your bones away. Keep your bones and put them in a bag and throw them in the freezer, because it makes the best stock and broth that you will ever taste. Just keep your veggie scraps, throw those in a freezer bag. I've got a video where I talk about that too on this channel, but save your scraps, y'all, and your bones, because it makes really good stock. Look, I had about 12 jars of these. Okay, I didn't have to buy this from the store. This was free. Bones and scraps I would have thrown away otherwise. And look, bone broth, lots of collagen, lots of protein. All right, these onions are making my eyes burn. Oh my God. Whew, just give it a minute. So I'm just gonna add a teaspoon of some bacon grease that I froze. This is totally optional, but it does add a nice little flavor. You can actually add in smoked turkey or bacon if you have it. Sometimes I do that if I've got it, but I've also done this many times without meat, and that's good too. All right, just a little bit. I wish you could smell that whiff of the onions and the bacon grease. See, it's small, but it makes a little difference, okay? All right, now what we're gonna do is add in our chicken bone broth. That right here. All right, we're gonna end up adding filtered water to this pot too, because obviously that's not enough liquid. But these are my purple whole peas, fresh and rinsed. I'm gonna add these in here. If you get them fresh, don't forget to check for caterpillars. Our fresh okra. I'm gonna add that in here too. Don't worry, we're gonna season it. And add more water. I'm gonna grab a couple of garlic cloves. We're gonna smash them and then add them to the pot. Extra flavor. A little more than that. Let's do this one. Okay. That's all. Just smash it, and we're gonna add this to the pot. Okay. All right. Now we are gonna add some filtered water. We want to cover our peas. Okay. Oops. Try not to splash the camera. All right. Now we are going to season very, very well. Get ready. We are going to add onion powder. Garlic powder. We're gonna add some cracked black pepper generously. add some sea salt. As you can tell, I'm not measuring, but just season till the ancestors tell you to stop. Just add, you know, you'll taste it and know if you need more, but start with a good bit. So now I'm gonna add some bay leaves, okay? The bay leaves, I wish you could smell them. It does add something to it. I know people are like, what's the point of bay leaves? It's one of those things where it's like, you notice when it's not there, but you can't really put your finger on what it tastes like. It doesn't particularly taste like much, but it does add something subtle to the dish. Whenever I do beans or soup, I always add at least a couple bay leaves in there, 2 or 3. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this up and put my lid on it. And you wanna let this simmer. You know, these are fresh peas, so it's not gonna take quite as long. Sometimes I do these in the slow cooker. If I do them dry, if you do them dry, you need it to simmer for, you know, depending on how long you soaked them, at least an hour, maybe a few hours, you know, on low, simmer for, you know, 2 to 3 hours. However much time you have, you know, make sure they're tender. They gotta be tender. These are fresh, so they're not gonna take quite as long. I'd say anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. We're gonna just, you know, you want them to be tender, so go ahead, let them cook and leave it alone. Now, plenty of fiber in these beans. We are also gonna make guac and chia pudding. Both of those also have extra fiber. So, cool thing is, while this is cooking, you can go ahead and make some other things that you're gonna have throughout the week to get your fiber in. A little kitchen hack that I like to have to save your grocery bags, because they're great little trash bags in the kitchen. You can throw in your scraps, the scraps that you aren't saving. If there's some other scraps you already throw them away, you can put them in here. Or the bags that your meat comes in, you can put them in here, tie it up so it doesn't stink up your kitchen and trash bag. But I just grab it and then I put it right here till I'm done cooking, and then I throw it away. So I'm gonna drop 4 tablespoons of chia seeds in this jar. Okay. These you can get in bulk from your farmer's market. It's a lot cheaper that way. All right. Now I'm gonna add in cashew milk. You can add in whatever type of milk you have. Honestly, I'm just gonna put about a cup in there, mostly fill it up. I'm also gonna add some Greek yogurt in to thicken it up. So, the Greek yogurt, serving of Greek yogurt has 17 grams of protein. That's about 3/4 a cup. Collagen peptides, this has 11 grams of protein. And it adds flavor. This is chocolate collagen peptides. It's the one I like. But I've done this, you know, without the peptides. You can just do cacao powder, a little vanilla, and honey. That won't add protein, but it'll taste good. Give it a chocolate pudding flavor. All right. And you just want to mix this up. I'm gonna need to add a little more chocolate peptides. This is gonna make, I feel like when I do a container like this, it lasts me at least a few servings. Sometimes 4, because it's actually really, really filling. because of how much fiber and protein is in here. So it looks like not much, like, oh, I could just eat this whole jar. No, you couldn't. It's extremely filling. But it makes for a great breakfast to start your day without sugar and start your day with protein and fiber. So good for breakfast. That's what I want to break my fast with, something like this. Because even if you don't add the collagen peptides or, you know, a good quality, this is grass-fed from Thrive Market. If you have a good quality chocolate protein powder, even without that, it's gonna have a lot of protein and fiber. Oh yeah, if you can see, the texture is getting frothy, kind of malty, like malted. Feels kind of like a milkshake texture. Maybe a little looser than that, but it's starting to get thicker, is what I'm saying. And this is gonna get nice and thick in the fridge overnight. All right, I like to add some cinnamon to the top. Adds a nice flavor. Ceylon cinnamon. All right, this entire jar has 49 grams of protein and 19 grams of fiber. Remember, you only need 25 grams of fiber in a day. This whole thing has 19 grams, so you're probably gonna split this up into like 3 portions because it's really filling, but that's good to know, right? So this just floating in your fridge. You can make multiple of these jars and just have them throughout the week. But it's good to know that it has 19 grams of fiber, 49 grams of protein in this little jar. How about that? So, guys, check out on my channel. I've got a chocolate covered strawberry chia seed pudding recipe. So definitely check that out. I've got a playlist of different desserts and it's included in there. So that's an easy way to find it. But super, super, super yummy. You can mix it up, do all kinds of different flavors and different fruits in here and just make it what you want. I like to add some toasted coconut and some goji berries. Lately, that's been my jam. When I add this to a bowl, I'll add some toasted coconut and goji berries. Sometimes I will add little like dark chocolate chips too. But first thing in the morning, I've been doing like, pumpkin seeds. A little scoop of pumpkin seeds, goji berries, and toasted coconut. Chef's kiss. So good. Really good for breakfast. All right, avocados are a very high source of fiber, higher than any of the vegetables you think you're eating and getting fiber from. There's 10 grams of fiber in one avocado. So you probably eat what? About half an avocado a serving? That's 5 grams of fiber. Easy. So, oh, we're gonna cut that part off. That is molded, ew. Probably because it's 90 degrees in our home. Just kidding, it's only 83. So some of it went bad a little faster than planned, but the rest looks pretty good. That's why I say this is a very realistic recipe video, or really prepping video. By the way, if you like guac, check out my channel. I also have a whole other video detailing how I make guacamole and tortilla chips from scratch. But we're also gonna do that guac here today. Not the tortilla chips right now, but I'm gonna show you how to make guac. I've actually got some skins or chicharrones that I like to eat with my guac. It adds a little protein and it's nice crunch and it's 0 carbs. So that's a great way to enjoy your guacamole too, you know, outside of just tortilla chips. All right. being really difficult today. These seemed ripe enough. They are a little bit less ripe in some areas and very ripe in some areas. Not ideal, but like I said, this is realistic, so nothing goes to waste. We are going to use this and it's going to be great. Usually that goes a lot smoother when your avocados are perfect, but that's so real. Like literally you breathe on them and they're too ripe, or in this case it's like some of it is super ripe, some of it's too ripe, some of it was like almost not ripe enough, which it's rarely that bad. I feel like it's because of the crazy temp in our home right now, but we're gonna do the best with what we got. So I like to take a fork and just mash it. Get the, you know, some of the chunks out. It doesn't have to be super smooth or anything. I don't mind chunky guac. I actually kind of prefer it to have some chunks, but I don't want to, you know, just want to blend it a little bit with a fork. Okay. So now I'm gonna add some Greek yogurt in. Why? Because one, it adds a nice little tangy flavor to it, and it keeps it from browning as fast between the Greek yogurt and the lemon or lime that you're adding. And it adds creaminess. I actually stole this from, well, I don't know, it's not like they originated it, but my favorite store-bought guac for a long time, when I was in college, my favorite store-bought guac was Trader Joe's guacamole. And I read the ingredients. I'm like, I have to make this at home because the way I go through these containers, it'll have to be my whole paycheck. So I'm like, I need to make this at home. Literally, all it was Greek yogurt, avocados, serrano peppers, lime juice, garlic powder, onion powder, and sea salt. I'm like, what? So I can do that at home. So right now, you can use lemon or lime juice. I've been using lemon lately and it tastes great. And lemons have been on sale. So honestly, I've just had lemons in the house a lot more often than limes lately, and been making it with lemons and they've been great. So that works. I'm gonna squeeze. This is about half a lemon, guys. Oh my god. That one like exploded. Okay. Alright, now we're going to mixy mix. And we're gonna season it up. So, let me wipe my hands. We are going to add in our salt. Do sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, whatever you have. This is onion powder. Oh my god. It's super humid, so all of our, well, not all of our seasonings. Onion powder got stuck in here. It's not old, it's just humid in here. So I'm just gonna pour in some onion powder. And we'll mix it up in there. Garlic powder. And cayenne. It's a bit too spicy if I use serrano peppers, so for the sake of my husband, I add cayenne pepper. It still adds a kick, but it's nothing too crazy. But I don't mind the serrano peppers or fresh jalapenos. Fresh serranos are really nice in here. A little bit hotter, a lot of it hotter than jalapeno, I think. Okay, we are gonna give it a little taste, see if we need to add anything. Hey Terry, that's our cat. I'm gonna add A little more onion powder. Ooh. And guys, this is gonna be, let me actually taste test it with you with a pork rind so I can show you what I'm talking about. You're gonna get pork rinds. These are so fire, look. Fried pork skin, sea salt, fried and rendered in pork fat. No seed oils. All right, so we're gonna take a little scoop. Cheers. Perfecto. Add a pinch more salt and then we're good. I like spice. We'll pinch more cayenne. Woo. This is gonna be really good, especially chilled. You just stir it up and enjoy this. Sometimes I have a few of these, a serving of pork rinds and guac for breakfast, just to break my fast with some healthy fats, protein, fiber. That's perfect right there. Ooh, steamy. You do not want it to burn. I probably could have stirred this a little bit more often, but it's not burning. It just, you know, sticks a little bit to the bottom. Turn the heat down a bit. I had it on medium. Simmering on low for several hours is good. But if you don't have that time, you also can do medium and just let it cook. Or you can pressure cook these too. Or on the slow cooker. So many different ways to do it. You can't really go wrong. All right, I'm gonna taste these to see if they're tender and also if we need to add any other seasonings. Which I already know one seasoning I'm gonna add, but let's try it. Okay. Definitely tender. I'm gonna add some chile arbol. I like to add a couple of these when I do a pot of beans. And I didn't earlier, so I'm gonna add them now. Doesn't make it too spicy, it just adds a little extra flavor. They're also, this is needing some more salt, so I'm gonna add some sea salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of everything, I guess. Black pepper. I'm gonna stir this up. All right, this is very much seasoned to taste. So I'm gonna let this simmer for about maybe 5 more minutes or so. They are nice and tender, but we wanna make sure the flavor is right before we're done. So took it off the heat because it's very done, very tender. And I'm just gonna taste. That's good. That's done. Awesome. This is so delicious. So delicious. This is gonna make so many bowls of yummy dinner with the cornbread we have. Oh my God. So good. So nutritious. packed with protein and fiber. The flavor on here is crazy. Super, super good. Once it's done, before you serve it, you do want to take your hot peppers out. You do not want to accidentally bite into one of these, but it is good to cook with for flavoring, but don't forget to take it out. Y'all, in that little bit of time, we made so much food. We got a big pot of southern purple whole peas with the okra in it. We've got breakfast, that's dinner, right? And the cornbread, right? Then we got breakfast covered with the chocolate chia seed pudding. And then we got snack time covered, or you could also do it for breakfast too, for some healthy fats and protein if you do it with the pork rinds. But we've got our guacamole made. If you eat any combination of these foods daily, you know, you get a serving of beans, you get an avocado, you get chia seeds, you are definitely gonna hit your Fibermaxxing goals every single day. And we did it for under 20 bucks, y'all. This is breakfast, snack, and dinner covered for multiple days throughout the week. I don't have to cook tomorrow or the next day. We're covered. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out some of our other videos on the channel. Eat well, be well, and I will see you next time.